All right, we're live. It's actually been a couple weeks since I've been live using just the cell phone. But anyway, hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. It is Friday at 9:15 p.m. I don't know if anyone's actually going to show up. After all, it is Friday. It is late at night, and also as things start to reopen, people aren't stuck at home as much. So, last couple live streams definitely were not as filled as they were when the whole pandemic thing started. However, if you are not watching this live, if you are in fact watching this after the fact, well, it is a live stream, obviously. I've just stated this, and well, here's the thing. For the first 15, although in this case, maybe 30 minutes, will be the main topic or topics of the video. After that, it will devolve into Q&A, senseless discussion about whatever, life, the universe. Did anyone actually see Scoob? Did anyone care? I ended up buying it so that the kids could watch it, and it was like, yeah, I don't know. Just when you think kids' movies are getting better these days, then you see a movie like that, and you wonder what the heck happened. So, anyway, we have Steven here, we have Jody here, we have Romeo here, and in fact, Jody is kind of getting the whole thing. And hey, Ryan, how you doing? Oh, don't worry about it, Ryan. I was actually wondering where you were. You must be busy. That's fine. Everyone, that's fine. I'm happy that you're here. Anyway, interesting that Jody should mention, because she says, I'm not surprised Grubhub turned down the offer. Yeah, that's what I'm reading on the Motley Fool. Now, I have to give Uberman Tampa some credit because I completely missed this story. And he had pointed out in the comment section, they turned down the offer. I did a Google and a Bing search with Grubhub and Uber. I did not find this story. So he sent me the article from the Motley Fool, which is what we will be using as our source. So anyway, the headline is Grubhub turns down Uber's initial offer. Talks continue, though. So, here's the story. Uber's initial offer to buy out Grubhub at a price of 1.9 Uber shares per Grubhub share was refused during the weekend. But the deal may not be off the table. According to the Wall Street Journal, talks between the CEOs of both companies indicate that Grubhub deemed the price too low to accept on Sunday. An offer of 1.925 Uber shares per Grubhub shares may be possible, Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi stated after the first offer was rejected. However, this amount still falls short of Grubhub's apparent demand for 2.15 Uber shares for each of its shares. The delivery company hasn't yet given any public indication it is willing to budge on the prices set for itself. So, what does this mean? Well, here's the thing. Companies are bought in one of two ways. They are either done in an all-cash transaction, all-stock transaction, or, and I guess this is technically a third way, a combination of the two. Now, here's the thing. Uber does not want to spend any money, or they want to spend very little money on this, because they're firing everyone. Their business is down the toilet. What else? Geez, it was on the tip of my tongue. Business is down, laying people off. Oh yeah, they discontinued the research on their self-driving cars, and they slowed down on Uber Freight. Basically, Uber is not in a very good position to be buying much of anything. One thing that they are doing very well, though, with is food. And, well, they see some growth potential if they acquire Grubhub. Now, they don't want to spend the money to buy Grubhub, and also that does not look very good on them if they fired a bunch of people and then they go and they spend billions or millions of dollars, I don't know what Grubhub's worth, to be honest, of money to buy Grubhub. So they're going to Grubhub and they're offering a stock acquisition, like, hey, if you'll agree to, in a sense, merge, that's kind of what they're doing, they're merging, then your Grubhub shares would become 1.9 shares of Uber stock, because Uber stock is trading for about $34. Grubhub is trading for around 53. So obviously, Uber would have to, offer up more shares of stock to actually make this work. Now, Grubhub pretty much said no to that. They are demanding to get 2.15 shares for every Grubhub shares. So that's what their offer is. Now, I don't know what that actually means for Uber. Like, will they actually accept this offer? It depends how serious they are about it. Now, I can see why they would be serious, because something that has been pointed out to me, I didn't really think about it, is while Uber would not gain a monopoly because you still have DoorDash and Grubhub, we would be much closer to a duopoly than before. At that point, Uber Eats and Grubhub become one company. Then you have DoorDash, who has bought their own delivery services, including Caviar. And then you have Postmates, who really would not have much of a fighting chance at this point anymore, because the other companies are just so much bigger at this point. Postmates will never catch up. At that point, Lyft would probably want to buy Postmates at that point. But interestingly, Lyft doesn't seem to make deals like this. I don't know why exactly. So that, and in some markets, if Uber Eats and Grubhub merged, then Uber would gain over 60% of the food delivery market in a few states. So obviously they would like to be in that position. Now, this is also why there are some Democrat senators who are warning Uber and Grubhub, we don't like this deal. We see some really anti-competitive stuff coming from this deal. So therefore, we will probably oppose it. We will do what we can to oppose it. So whether it could actually go through or not, that is a whole nother discussion. But we do know this. Uber officially made an offer to Grubhub. They offered 1.9 shares of Uber stock per Grubhub stock. Grubhub has countered 2.15. So for every share of Grubhub that Uber buys, they would pay, that would become 2.15 shares. I don't know if Uber's going to want to do that, but who knows? The question, of course, I have is what happens when the pandemic is over? Because we are starting to open up. People are starting to do things again. In fact, in Florida, it's even encouraging. They're starting to open things up, and the cases are still going down. Of course, then you have Maryland, where they're starting to open, and, well, the cases are going up because they're arguing about things. Don't want to get into it right now. You probably know what it is. So who knows? Like, if the country starts recovering, when people start going out again, and they're not relying on delivery services as much, then where does that leave Uber and Grubhub? Because I don't think this spike of using food delivery services for everything is going to last a whole lot longer. I think once the country is open and people can start going out and picking up their own stuff again, they will do that to save a lot of money. A lot of money. But we will just have to see on that one. So anyway, that's topic number one. Second topic, and this is going to be the fun one. So here's the thing. My hair is getting long. My hair is getting long, and in fact, I'm getting tired of it. It's getting in my ears. That's why my ears are always itching right now. And at least where I live, it's been made pretty clear that the barber shops will not be opening anytime soon. It's probably going to be another month. It's been 5 months since I've got a haircut. I tend to let my hair grow a little long, and then I get a haircut, but I didn't realize, of course, that this whole thing was going to happen. And that, well, anyway, it got bad enough that once this got, to start covering my eyes, and I just kind of grabbed it, and it's like I snipped the front off just so I could see. But it's starting to get really bad on the sides, and I don't trust my wife. I asked her to give me a haircut, and she held the scissors, and she's kind of like, and I was kind of like, you know what, honey, never mind. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. So I had this crazy idea. Um, Not that I don't know how much your guys' opinion is necessarily gonna mean on this one, but I'm kind of curious what you think. This could be fun. Do you think I should just shave the hair, trim it with this thing, and then put some shaving cream on and just, become bald like Walter White from Breaking Bad? I can even grow this out a little bit. With the idea being that, well, if it is a couple more months until the barbershops reopen, then I can get like a proper haircut. But in the meantime, this is just driving me nuts. And it's not going to affect my look too much on the channel because guess what? I'm wearing this for the most part. I would kind of make like a shaving video where people can see how bald I look, and that would probably be a Patreon and YouTube member exclusive because I make exclusive videos for my Patreon and YouTube members. I don't know if any of you know that, but if you don't know that and you want to see those exclusive videos, you can become a member. You can become a member in the chat room. But that said, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I actually just take it off until the barbershops reopen again and I can get proper hair care? I'd like to know, and that is probably what we will be talking about. So anyway, I am now going to well, actually, here's what I will do. I will go to the YouTube here so I can read your comments. And I will go to the beginning, and and again, it's not like necessarily like your opinion is going to sway me. I'm just very, very curious. I'm definitely leaning towards it though. So first comment, Steven says no bald, LOL. Okay. Rogan says hello. And hey, George is here. Says Lyft needs to buy Grubhub, otherwise Lyft is doomed. Well, Lyft could also buy Postmates. They could buy Postmates. But who knows? Mimi says Hertz went bankrupt today. Lyft and IBM were their top two creditors. Lyft stock will drop Tuesday. Shoot, really? Did Hertz go bankrupt? Let's look this up. Yeah, you're right. They did. Well, and here's the thing. It's Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is very different from Chapter 7. I think there's also another chapter in there, but I forgot which one. Chapter 11 is bankruptcy protection. This is like, hey, we're restructuring. We believe there is a business model in the long run, and we want time to get our finances in order so we can be competitive. Now, I am not concerned about it because when you file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, things like your rent is paid and everything like that. When you do this, the court is going to look over, they're going to pay some bills for them, and then they're going to look at their finances and their books. They're going to see, is the business viable? And here's the thing. What happened was so unfortunate that basically the business got destroyed because of a virus. So knowing that the virus will end, Hertz will be fine in the long run. They will get the bankruptcy protection. I don't know why I closed the YouTube video. That is crazy to me. But yeah, but that does mean you're right that Lyft stock will probably take a beating with this one. So hey, I've got 6 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. If anyone wants to give a thumbs up, feel free to do so. So yeah, you're right. George says Uber can't spend money they don't have, which is why they're offering a stock exchange for this. It's almost a merger. Jody says they're just going to end up imploding themselves. Yeah, I believe that's true. See, this is what's annoying me, like how the hair just kind of is getting everywhere. Like, Ryan says, I've been doing good. Did you get to see the interview T23 today of Leonard and Jesse Moulton interviewing Haley Mills? No, I didn't get to see that. I might watch it tonight. Who knows? Although on the other hand, I discovered before I was doing this that Crunchyroll has uploaded the entire all of the City Hunter series and movies. City Hunter, which is a comic I read when I was a kid. I probably should not have been reading that comic as a kid. And I remember watching a couple of the animes from Blockbuster, but now like the whole series is on Crunchyroll. I actually streamed 4 episodes before doing this. So I don't know. That interview might be put on the back burner because of that. Travis Holmes said, I would like to see a Grubhub and Postmates merger. That would make sense, and I think that would be a good one because guess what? Then you have Uber Eats, you have Postmates / Grubhub, whatever they call themselves, and you have DoorDash. 3 competitors. What do you know? Damien says, about time you took the beanie off. I've actually taken the beanie off quite a few times, to be honest. So, Ryan says, have you seen Scoob? If yes, I assume you didn't like it. Yeah, that's actually what I was opening the video with. I was discussing Scoob briefly. No, I didn't like it very much, to be perfectly frank. But I actually recorded a video review, and I'm going to try to edit that this weekend. So hopefully that'll be up Monday on the Failed Journalist channel. Damien says, if you wore a tie and suit, you could be where Next News Network is at making millions. In presentation, if you dress up a bit, you could do news. I put on a suit and tie first before the ball thing. Yeah, well, I like my polo shirts, and one of the fun things about being on YouTube is that you can kind of pick your own dress code, if you will. So that's what I do. So Ryan says, I personally say no, but I wouldn't know if you would probably have enough hair by the time the barbershop reopened to get a proper haircut. Well, it doesn't have to be right away. Bottom line is the hair would grow back. So Street Racing RC says, do it. He says, do it. I'm leaning towards it. Mark says, ask your better half to cut in style. No, I do not trust her to do that. No. I handed her, like I said, I handed her the scissors one time and asked her to give me a haircut, and she looked at the scissors and me with such excitement, and I'm like, honey, never mind. I think we'll live with this. So, let's see here. Ryan says, are you planning on going back to Universal Studios Hollywood very shortly after they reopen? No. We will go back to Universal Studios, but it's probably going to be like a month later. And we're going to go on like a weekday when it would normally not be super busy anyway. So, yeah, the thing is, we are going to be doing some events when things reopen. We're going to be careful. We're going to wear the masks. We're going to keep social distancing. But we're not going to be doing a bunch of things like crazy. Because again, my wife has Crohn's disease. So, it's actually interesting because, of course, I did like a mask video today, and the mask videos are getting a lot of comments, a lot of thumbs up, a lot of thumbs down. If you ever want to join into an interesting conversation, watch one of the videos about the masks, go to the comments, and yeah, people are very passionate about it. And some people have been saying, like, who don't believe that this virus is that big of a deal, have said, oh, people who die from the virus? It's like, yes, I have. And they only died from the virus? It's like, yes, they were healthy people, they got the virus, and they died. I know 5 people who, well, not 5 people who died. I know 5 people who've gotten it, 2 who died. One was perfectly healthy, and the other did have diabetes. But here's but the point is no better, because if they say, well, they have to have an underlying condition and get the virus before it's lethal, it's like, okay, well, my wife has Crohn's disease, so it might be lethal to her. So forgive me if I'm exercising a little bit of caution. I love my wife. I want her to stay around. It's not a crime, so to be cautious. So anyway, but yeah, we also can't stay cooped up in the house forever, so we will be planning weekly trips, but we will plan them carefully on days that will likely not be as busy, and we won't do a whole lot in one week. Jody says, I think if Facebook does become successful with their online marketplace, I could see Amazon trying to sue them, but not being successful at all because Facebook is bigger than most people think. Facebook is bigger than most people think. They're not as big as Amazon. Although you are correct. Amazon would probably try to sue Facebook. We've seen them do this multiple times. When they feel that someone is coming in to eat their lunch, they sue them or they try to discredit them to protect their territory. So I actually do agree with with that. We saw what happened with the Jedi contract. But I would like to see the Facebook marketplace become a success, not only because it's like one more place for me to sell on, but because we do need people taken away from from Amazon. Now, we're in like just as equally a bad situation if people leave Amazon in droves and then Facebook becomes a dominant power. It needs to be a balance. I think most companies should have ideally 20 to 25% of the market share at most. But now we have companies that have like 40, 50, 60% of market shares, and it's like, that's those are monopolies. That's not healthy for the market. It's not good for anyone. It's anti-competitive too. Mark says chapter 13. No, Hertz filed for chapter 11. So I think that's what you're referring to. Romeo says about Lyft getting to the food. I don't know what that means, but okay. Hey, RBX, how you doing? FG, I haven't seen you in a while, FG, says, I would like to see no merger because Grubhub is only app worth driving. I've been hearing that a lot. That basically a lot of people are saying they would honestly rather not have this happen because they do like driving for Grubhub quite a bit. So, hey, we've got 23 people. If you like the stream, thumbs up. No drill. Okay. Damien says, been watching you for years and first time on here, but if you wore a suit and tie, you'd be really taken serious as we all do. Well, I'll consider a suit and tie at some point. I mean, I do have in the back of my head, I'm thinking about, not this year, but every year that I'm doing this channel, I'm thinking about what's the next year going to look like? Because the last thing I want is for this channel to be around for 5 or 10 years and the look never changes. So that's why at the beginning of this year, we had like the frames where you could see the article and me at the same time, but it also had information. I don't know what the next incarnation of the Apptrepreneur will look like. I don't know what 3.0 will entail. But I think 2.0 is probably going to be like the biggest struggle of the channel's life. Because, look, I'm not going to lie, numbers are down. And I fully expected them to be down. In fact, here's the thing. Income for YouTube, this is not me griping, by the way, but income on YouTube sucks right now because advertisers are not advertising on the platform. They just aren't. Now, this was kind of a blessing for me in some way because here's the thing. I kind of figured about a month ago, you know what? If the channel really isn't making money, and especially isn't making the money it used to, now's the time to start making videos that you want to make that aren't Uber related. Now, I haven't gotten rid of Uber because the less I do Uber, the more I don't want to completely get rid of them. But now's when it's like, okay, I'm going to talk about Amazon more. I'm talking about Facebook more. I've got a video coming Monday that is completely different than anything that we've done on this channel before. It is about an app. Never done it before. Might be fun. Who knows? It also frees me up to work on my other channels a little bit more. So Apptrepreneur 2.0 is really about change. It's happening slowly, but it's happening gradually. And I actually was a little encouraged fairly recently because on one day I posted an Amazon video and an Uber video on the same day. And this is very common, by the way. The Uber video always gets more views than the other video. It doesn't matter what it is. But a couple weeks ago, for the first time ever, the Amazon video got more views than the Uber video. And what's more, it got 3 times the amount of views. And what that was encouraging to me is that basically that is showing me that people will watch me with other topics. I just have to be patient as the algorithm learns that I am talking about these other topics. So Apptrepreneur 2.0, which is this year, is a transition period. I don't know what Apptrepreneur 3.0 is going to look like, but we'll see. So anyway, let's get back to the comments here. By the way, I see we have, well, we did have 35. Now we have 30. Thumbs up if you haven't. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see here. Happy Last says, any news on MoviePass being bought? No, the auction, I believe, is June 25th. That's when people have time to. Hey, when MoviePass gets bought, I will definitely talk about that because I have got to see that thing through to the end. Marco Polo says, "Hey, Grubhub is joining Uber. A good thumbs up." Well, Grubhub turned down Uber's offer, but they're still in discussions. Low Roller Scratcher, more competition, more money for seller online. Yep, I agree. Ryan says, with Twilight Time liquidizing their Blu-rays, do you plan on getting some, or are you still not buying very much physical media because of financial reasons? I did take advantage of the Twilight Time sale to buy the remaining Woody Allen movies I didn't have, plus a couple additional ones. But yeah, it was kind of a bad time for them to go out of business because it's like, while the discs were definitely cheaper, we're still watching our money. Not as much. I do have a job. Money is thankfully stable again. And I got some of the PUA assistance money. So, but we're still watching our money right now. So, thankfully the CAT scan wasn't as expensive as we thought it was going to be, but it still hurt though. All right. Jody says, right now the monopoly is Amazon and eBay, then Walmart. Well, no, there's usually the definition of a monopoly is that one company basically holds the cards, and that is Amazon. Also, when it comes to e-commerce, I don't know if Amazon holds the monopoly in e-commerce. You mentioned eBay, you mentioned Walmart. There's also Rakuten, which is actually pretty successful. And believe it or not, Etsy is considered an e-commerce site. You can't sell, well, it kind of depends what DVDs you sell. You're not selling garage sale stuff, but like people are selling their own products. By the way, I'm on Etsy. You can find my books on Etsy. So you buy them from Etsy and they're signed. Steven says change is good. Yes, I do believe so. And I think last year, it's kind of funny because last year was when my channel was by far the most successful. But it was also, I think, when it was at the most stale. Everyone came here and they knew exactly what they were going to get. And I don't want to be that channel. So, where it's like you come in and it's like, oh, so what's Apptrepreneur doing today? Like, oh, what do you know? Complain about Uber. Big shock. So now I'm doing different stuff. I didn't think I'd be doing the masks stories as often, but and here's the thing, I actually am okay with people not believing in the masks and shopping somewhere else because they don't want to wear a mask. I'm actually perfectly fine with that. I'm just getting a little annoyed at the people who are jerks about it, and they say you're sheep, you're zombies, you're being hoarded, and it's like, state your reasons why you don't believe in the mask and move on. Don't be a jerk about it. And I think some of these videos where customers are just getting into employees' faces and they are being total douchebags need to be called out. And so that's why I'm doing some of those videos, because I feel bad for those people. They're just trying to do their job and enforce the rules. And then you have like a self-entitled customer come up. And granted, people complain about anything. I mean, you see customers fighting with employees all the time on YouTube for this very reason. Because people have a gripe about something and then they take it out on the employee. And I mean, I remember that video not even too long ago of that Target customer who berated the cashier because they thought an item they had was on sale, but it wasn't on sale. And then they berated the Target cashier and filmed them and everything. And thankfully, the internet reacted. They did like a GoFundMe and they raised a bunch of money so she could go on a vacation. And it's like, that must have been a huge, huge blessing. So, shoot, could we do that for the Costco manager who threw that guy out? That would be awesome. I wish I had a bigger following for reasons like that. I would definitely instigate things like that. So, okay, let's see here. Um, Damien says those of us that worked for Amazon, Amazon would hire at home only 2% of the USA at home workers. I think you're saying only 2% of their company would be at home work. I could see that. Uh, Kanye West retracted his message. Um, Damien says we need to send you a green screen. That would be appreciated if someone wants to do that. Although to be perfectly fair, I don't know where I would put it right now. I do not have my own room for the studio as it is. The studio is in my wife and I's room, which is why when she's sleeping, sometimes I come out here. The other rooms are being rented by roommates. They help pay for the rent on the house. So right now, I don't know where I would put the green screen. But that said, I think we do want to like buy our own place next year. We might move out next year, and finally get out of my parents' basements. I'm kidding. I had to say that because people say that all the time as if it's an insult. No, we want to buy our own house at some point. We're definitely going to be looking at the market. I think the market's going to get hit very, very hard. But we will, once we have our own place, a room will have to be accounted for just for the studio so I can make videos basically whenever I want. If I can't sleep one night, I can do live streams of Google Stadia games, something like that. So, but in the meantime, a green screen wouldn't help very much. But yes, when I get my own place, I will need a green screen. So, anyway, Low Roller Scratcher, you rely on MoviePass on other channel. It's hard to grow that MoviePass content. Low Roller Scratcher, shut up. Seriously. You've been watching that channel long enough. You know it's not a MoviePass channel anymore. Stop it. Seriously. Okay. Damien said, and up the game to professional. I don't know how professional I need to be. We're just a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. You're gonna get me and my thoughts for better or worse. But I do think a green screen would very much be nice. It would make the work look more professional. Jody Smith said, Walmart is not innocent during this time either. No, I never said they were. Walmart, like Amazon, definitely, definitely has taken advantage of the situation as well. Steven says, hey, App, you saw my message on Discord, link your channel for when you grow. I did see that. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Because here's the thing. Right now, the Discord server is like a private message board for YouTube members and Patreon members. Even though most of them don't accept the invitation for some reason. I don't know why. But I think I'm going to like try to keep Discord that way. Because I check it infrequently as it is. Marco Polo says, do you think that the government should send another stimulus check? No. I mean, maybe we'll find out in like a month or two. I'd like to see if the economy starts to recover before we do that. Since we're starting to open up, let's see what happens. If we have to start closing things again, then yeah, you probably need to send another stimulus check. But right now, things are opening up. People are going back to work. People are apparently buying things in droves. We thought that there would be a depression, and yet everything that's opening up from casinos and theme parks, and they're capping reservations, but those reservations are selling out. So maybe the economy will recover in a big way. You never know. So until we know for sure, I'm saying no, but like kind of keep it in the back pocket just in case. Lucha Libre retracted their message. Perry says, everything about talking about WeWork or HQ trivia and all the drama there. I have talked about WeWork before. I've never talked about HQ trivia. What is going on there? Let's see here. Okay. I don't see any news stories about drama with well, I mean okay, I can definitely see though that WeWork is suffering. So yeah, I'm probably going to talk about WeWork again. fairly soon because, yeah, this is bad. SoftBank values WeWork at 2.9 billion, down from 47 billion a year ago. Boy, did they take a bath on that one. What's going on with HQ trivia? Is that like a game? Let's see here. What's going on with HQ? Oh, interesting. So apparently no one plays it anymore. Yeah, I don't think that's really a news story, to be perfectly honest. There's a lot of mobile games that everyone is playing one year, and then before you know it, they're not playing it. I mean, there's Angry Birds, there's Candy Crush, there's Farm Friends, whatever it was called. And the thing is, these games are super popular for a very, very short amount of time, and then people move on. And yeah, you're aware of them. It's not like they disappear, but no one really. Why? Why did I don't know why went white there for a second. So anyway, I must have breathed on it too hard. Anyway, yeah, I don't think HQ trivia not being much of a thing anymore is a story, but you know, I appreciate that you express interest in it. I probably will talk about WeWork again at some point. Okay, let's see here. Ryan says, if you don't mind me ask, oh, hold on. Do you have Tony Baxter's autograph? I think I remember you said in one of your videos that you do. No, I don't actually. I came close to getting a Tony Baxter autograph. Actually, I got close because I met him. I was at D23, and me and my friend saw him there. It's like, oh, you're Tony Baxter. It's like, yeah. It's like, hey, could you? And I happened to have one of my Walt Disney Treasure DVDs with me. I take the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs with me to D23 all the time, just in case. And I brought out the Disneyland one, and it's like, hey, could you sign this real quick? And he said no. He's like, no, if I sign that, there'll be like a line that gets really long in the middle of here. Now, me and my friend were kind of annoyed by that because it was kind of like, at first it was kind of like, dude, you're not going to get noticed by too many people anywhere you go. But it made sense in hindsight. Like, no, you're in a convention. It's a busy hall. They control the lines as best they can. If that happens, then you might have a traffic interruption, and it's not safe for him. So we understood in hindsight, like a little later. But yeah, I got to meet him, and but yeah, he denied pictures. He didn't want to sign anything. So no, I didn't. But the thing about Tony Baxter is at D23s, he tends to do autograph sessions, so it's probably just a matter of time. Jody says, what is this going to do to the economy as far as small business go if the U.S. has to back into lockdown this fall? Well, I don't think they're going to lock down the way they did before. We know more now. Essentially, what will probably happen is they might do a semi-lockdown where it's like, okay, businesses have to enforce social distancing and masks. They have to invest in security, and people have to follow the rules. Takeout should be strongly encouraged. If you have an office job and you work from home, they need to work from home. They can probably do this where they can force people home without completely shuttering the economy again. So we know a lot more now. So I don't think they'll do a complete shutdown again. But if they have to do another shutdown, they'll do it smarter this time, hopefully. Ryan says, if you don't mind me asking, would you still stay in California's move? I was really hoping to meet you when I go to California. I was originally going to be in CA right now, but I know you had to delay. Well, we fully intend to stay in California. But that said, we might be moving to Sacramento, which would be quite far from Disneyland. And there has been some discussion, not a lot, but some discussion of moving to Phoenix. Now, the reason we were considering moving to Phoenix is because my wife was now working at home and they have an office in Phoenix. Rent's a heck of a lot cheaper. They have a lot of the comfortable amenities. It's my stutter, sorry. Comforts, I'll say. And it was like, well, geez, like if I can work from home, then I could work from anywhere. But my job is not as cool. So they do not want, even though I could work from home, they don't want me to work from home. So for the time being, we're staying here. We'd like to own a house in California, but if we did, it might be in Sacramento or it might be in Phoenix, Arizona. Although we're going to be keeping an eye on the housing market because the housing market will probably crash during all of this. It's going to be hit hard. And the question is not if, when. Because you can't be renting, you won't be selling houses and you won't be renting expensive apartments when there's a 25 to 30% unemployment going on. So, Marco Polo says, do you use an investment app? Yes, the primary one I use is Robinhood, which, by the way, if you want a free stock, sign up for Robinhood using my link below. I got to do another Robinhood video. My investments have grown substantially. So, Ryan Treasures, are you planning on getting HBO Max at launch in a few days? Ryan, I thought you were watching my vlog channel. I already subscribed. Lance Johns is driving. Hey, welcome, Lance. Says Walmart has eliminated many positions and older employees took severance pay and left them. They have also fired older employees for stupid reasons to hire new and pay them less. Yep, that sounds like Walmart. That sounds like Walmart. Totally sounds like Walmart. Low Roller Scratcher, HQ Trivia is like Jeopardy game show. Went bankrupt. They are giving thousands of dollars playing trivia every night. Interesting. Jody says, basically, they want to start school back up this fall. With them wanting to do this, they're not thinking about the children with autism at all, which I feel this will cause a lot of problems. Well, Jody, I sense, Jody, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sensing that situation is hurting, probably affecting you a little bit more than it's affecting most people here. If only because you brought it up multiple times. Now, I'm not saying that to complain. Keep in mind that perfectly fine to have this valid concern. I totally understand that. Kids with autism are suffering right now, just being cooped up indoors all day, and they don't really understand why they can't go out. But here's unfortunately, oh, I did skip your question. Sorry, Stephen. Here is my tough love answer on that one. And granted, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but armchair point of view, I think school's out for kids for the rest of the year. I don't think kids are going back to school until next fall. And here's the thing, that totally sucks. I have nieces who school is their social outlet. They love going to school. God bless them, they love going to school. And they actually hate this thing because they miss soccer, they miss ballet, they miss their friends. They don't necessarily want mom and dad teaching them. Mom and dad tend to be very, very concerned about their grades. And not only what they're answering, but how they're answering and how they're thinking about it. And I was homeschooled, so I understand this a little bit. But the thing is, we can't reopen to normal. Some things will have to have restrictions. And if the cases start going back up and they have to do another shutdown, they won't completely shut the world down again, but they will target some very logical things that people have to do. One of them, hey, if you can work from home, you have to work from home. That is your duty to work from home, to stay in the house and reduce contact. Hey, restaurants, it has to be takeout, or it has to be a very, very small amount of people in the store. Schools will have to be done online. Homeschool has been this thing for years. And I do know that is not necessarily fun for kids with autism. It's probably not fun for the parents with kids with autism. I don't know who this affects more. The kids with autism who get stuck in the house all day and they can't take it, or the parents who frankly have to deal with them. And that's not being mean, but parents need breaks from their kids. That's why school is kind of a healthy thing for just any parent. It gives them a little bit of time away from the kids so they can recharge their batteries. Stay-at-home moms who do homeschool, this is those women are superheroes for this reason. So I sense that the situation is personal to you. You definitely seem very concerned about it. But I have to be, give a tough love, honest response. I would not expect kids to be going back to school this year. I know Trump said that's an unacceptable answer. It might be what we have to do. Now, here's the other thing to keep in mind, because like in France, kids have gone back to school, but they're spaced out in the classroom, and when they go to recess, there's like little circles written on the ground, and kids get in circles and they don't interact with other kids. So even if the schools reopened here and if they had to do something like that, it wouldn't be much different from having to be stuck at home. So that's my thoughts. Hopefully it didn't offend you too much, but I do appreciate your questions. So Steven's question, which I skipped by accident, said, instead of green screen, use software when recording VCam as well. I've tried those, but then like sometimes it covers up the face and it's not a great alternative. Would you consider going on one of Bob Gurr's Waltland tours before you move? If you do, while you're still in the area, probably, maybe. I don't know. Might be fun, but I don't know. I know a lot about Disney. I know a lot about Disney, and I've done Disney things that most fans can only dream about doing. So I don't think there's a whole lot more for me to do except maybe go into the Disney animation archives itself, which will never happen. But, shoot, I actually walked in Roy E. Disney's office at the animation building, that big hat that you see on the building. That was Roy's office, and I've been in there. So that's... Even though I would love to do every single exclusive Disney experience ever, I've done more than most have been able to, and so I feel very blessed for that reason. Low Roller Scratcher Weeble is very popular on YouTube. You can get free stock if they sign up. Yeah, I've looked into Weeble, but Weeble asks for a heck of a lot more money up front to start. So right now we've started the Robin Hood experiment. We're going to see that through to the end of the year and see where we are. Ryan says, oh, was that the Justice League video? No, it wasn't. It was the HBO Max video. Marco says, do you have any 401k or IRA for retirement? Yes. They've taken a hit, that's for certain. But for the most part, they're still very healthy, even though they've taken a huge hit. So, hey, I actually caught up, and we're at 48 minutes. So, let's see here. Jody Smith says, I've been seeing people making videos about Chuck E. Cheese rebranding as Pasquale's. Hey, you know what? I made a video about that. It was a couple days ago. It was something like Grubhub buyers get trolled by Chuck E. Cheese. So yeah, if you want my opinion on that, check that out. Ryan says, did you ever go inside the film and TV? No, I didn't go into any of the TV archives. Well, wait a minute. I take that back a little bit. I went to the Disney archive in the sense that I went to the office that connects to it, where the front where they have like the Oscars, the Annies, they have the wardrobe from Chronicles of Narnia there. Dave Smith's office was right there. There's all these books. That room, right outside the door, there's a multi-plane camera. That I got to see. But beyond that, where they keep the sensitive material, we will never get to go there. None of us. Have you looked into SoFi? I believe I have. Let me look at this SoFi Finance. Oh, Yeah, no, I mean, I know of them, but I don't think I need them right now. George says history teaches us one thing: life is a repetition. The second wave has always the most lethal. Be prepared for the fall. Well, and especially if nobody practices social distancing. Yeah, I just don't understand why this is such a big. And look, I have to choose my words carefully because I have some longtime viewers who have been here for a long time, and I respect them. I clearly do. I think they're wrong. They're misguided about this. If they feel like the masks and the social distancing doesn't do anything, that's fine. But here's the thing. I don't feel that gives you the right to go to someone and say, "You're stupid. This is a scam. Um, you're being a bunch of sheep and zombies." It's like, you know what? That isn't gonna convince them to believe the masks are useless any more than me saying you're foolish and stupid for thinking the masks don't do something. That's not going to convince you of anything. What though you say in those words is not going to convince anyone of anything. There was one guy who I appreciate this comment because the guy's answer was, I don't think the masks are that useful. I think it's a flawed thing, and I don't wear them because I don't want to. But when I walk through the grocery stores, I walk with confidence. And you know what? If someone looks uncomfortable and they ask me to put the mask on, I do have one in my back pocket, and I will put it on if it will make them feel comfortable. But I prefer to, project confidence that everything's fine. And responded, I appreciate this answer. Not because I necessarily agree with it, but because, hey, it was a reason that was explained and it made sense. I could see why they would have that opinion, and it wasn't being rude. So it's like, okay, I disagree with it, but hey, you know what? I respect you. That's actually a good place to be. Like, hey, I personally don't think this is real. And I don't wear it, but hey, if someone says it's making me uncomfortable, okay, I'll put it on for a few minutes. And that's what's going to become the trickiest part about all this is that people need to learn to respect one another. That it's one of the you know what it's kind of like? It's like a smoking thing. I think it's pretty clear now to most people that smoking is not good for you. But for some people, smoke bothers them more than others. And smoker if you smoke, I think you're wrong to smoke. I don't think you're doing yourselves any favors. But hey, you know what? If you go to the designated smoking areas, if you don't blow smoke in people's faces, if you try to be respectful of distance when you smoke, okay, fine. That's okay. It's when you walk up to someone and they say, "Can you please put out the cigarette? It's bothering me," and you turn around, you're like that. That's when it's like, okay, chill. Just chill for a second. And on one last note, with the mask video I posted today, the point of the video wasn't even that I think masks are good and you should wear them. The point of the video was that a guy was harassing a Costco employee, and the Costco employee, who was probably a manager, rightfully kicked that guy's butt out of the store. And we should agree that you shouldn't be jerks about this. And yet, somehow, that message seemed to get completely lost. So, I don't know. But I'm now kind of curious to see how many mask videos I can make and still retain an audience. George says, anyone here still doing rideshare? That's a good question. Is anyone here still doing rideshare? I mean, because people ask, like, why don't you talk about rideshare as much? It's like, I don't sense a lot of people are still doing it. Jody says, I don't know what I think about this, but I've heard a lot of people saying that the pandemic is going to have to come down to natural selection. Well, let me put it this way. It can. A lot of people will have to die to do that. But the people who say that are the people who are so confident in their health and their ability to beat this thing if they get it, that they're not thinking about the other people. Yeah, it could be natural selection. I mean, the strong can survive and the weak can pass. But that's potentially millions of people dying. Wouldn't you rather just be inconvenienced for a year of your life to get to a vaccination and, more or less protect people from this rather than I don't know. That's kind of a warped way of looking at it. So Ryan says, would you consider doing a video about working at a Disney park as an Aspie? I have made a few videos about that on the vlog channel. So yeah, I have made a few of those videos already. So George says, I'm convinced that it will claim at least 60 million lives. Well, George, I don't necessarily agree with that. In fact, most doctors aren't even anticipating that. The doctors, I think, at the absolute most projected 4 million lives lost. Because the reality is, it is something that most people have survived, but if you have an ailment or you're older or something like that, that's when it's especially dangerous. Now, the other thing about this is even if you survive, there is a lot of concern about what it can do for your long-term health. Like, it might damage your lungs to a point where they're worried that some people who got it relatively young, because it leaves scarring on the lungs, that by the time they're 45 or 50, they might have to have like an oxygen mask on because their lungs are so damaged. So let's see here. Is the college program one the best one you've done? I saw that one and I really enjoyed it. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I don't know. I don't think of my videos like that. I mean, on this channel I have like a playlist with it's a play that of videos that I particularly am proud of, but I don't think there's enough of the vlog videos for me to really do that. Plus the vlog videos are really simple in nature, so they might be interesting, but they're not exactly high quality. Jody says, the zoo where I live is now only letting you in with reservation. Yeah, that's true. They almost everyone will make it a reservation from this point on. You're going to have a reservation. You're going to have to pick what time you show up. That's the thing that's in fact, the funny thing is, like, I think that's ultimately going to become like the bigger issue other than the masks. Although the masks might be aggravated because people are going to go to the reservation and not have it and they're going to turn away, but they're going to be annoyed that, oh, let's go to Disneyland today. Oh, and you get there, and it's like, do you have a reservation? What do you mean a reservation? You have to make your reservation in advance. Well, I'm a pass holder. I just want to show up. I'm actually kind of curious about what the pass holder situation is going to look like, because Disney might have to stop selling the premium pass. Because when you stop and think about it, yeah, you're paying so you can go anytime you want, and that's clearly not going to be the case anymore. Anyway, we are at 59 minutes. Well, 58 minutes and 31 seconds. So here's the thing, folks. Last chance. If you haven't given a thumbs up, please do. Would really appreciate that. But we are going to wrap this up. It was a fun little impromptu live stream. I'm gonna go stream some more City Hunter. I'm really enjoying that show. Although I should mention, it's interesting to watch the show now because the show would not have been made in the Me Too era. Not at all. So anyway, folks, thank you for joining. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for all that jazz. If this goes down, it will be an exclusive video on members and Patreon members. So we'll have to see. I'm going to put it off a week and see when the barbershops are going to open. But if they're not going to open for another month and a half, then screw it. I'm just going to lop it off, and we'll try something new. Anyway, thank you for watching. For those in the future, we'd like to know what your opinions on any of these things are. But you know the drill. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. And I'm just going to wait till it gets 1 hour. Why not? It's always fun when it reaches an hour, right? Okay, it's an hour. Let's go.